You're listening to WWBC, Cocoa, Melbourne, Titusville, 1510 AM, as well as W234BI, Cocoa, Rockledge, and W264AS, Rockledge, Melbourne, Palm Bay, and 100.7 FM.
Hey guys and gals, welcome. It's another edition of Catch a Memory Outdoors right here on WWBC 1510 AM. We appreciate you guys and gals tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch a Memory Outdoors. I'm your host, Captain Jim Ross, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to do this thing we call Catch a Memory Outdoors for the next 2 hours. So 7 to 9, we're going to be talking with Captain Matt Lee and myself about the fishing, doing a little hunting talk as well, because we both like to do a little bit of that. And we appreciate you guys and gals tuning in on our 1510 signal, also our 99.9, 94.7, and 100.7 FM signals. And remember, if you're outside of our typical listening area for any given reason, you can watch us live on Facebook, or you can also get us on the WWBC app. So just download that WWBC app to your phone, and you can listen to us just about anywhere that you have service. So I want to say good morning to those of you guys out there on Facebook as well. We appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to the Facebook feed. And looks like we're finally, my feed finally caught up. I don't know why it was so lagging, but it's finally up. So good morning to those of you guys and gals that are watching on the Facebook feed. We appreciate that. Matt, it has been an interesting few days, few weeks. I mean, we've had excellent fishing, and then we've had days where it was absolutely horrible. And it's just like there doesn't seem like there's anything in between. Either you're crushing it or they're crushing you. I mean, that's been my world for the last 3 weeks. How's it been for you? Have you had the same kind of experience where you've had really good days and really slow days, or is it a little more steady in Matt's world?
They can be picky.
Yeah.
It's been pretty steady. I've been kind of mixing it up this year because the water's been so low.
That's global warming, creating ocean level rise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why the water's so low.
That's what I figured. That's kind of what I went with. Was that whole deal was global warming.
It's the only explanation.
But man, I tell you, when you get on the fish and they're hungry, they have been chewing.
Good. Good.
Multiple days of 25 plus trout and going to play with some black drum. I mean, the trout have been stacked up good.
Really? So that's interesting to hear, because we lost a lot of trout in the Merritt Island, Cocoa Beach, even all the way up into Titusville area. You guys apparently you didn't lose that many trout up there.
I didn't see. I mean, there was posts that there was trout. Yes, we did lose some.
Right.
I don't know exactly how many. Like yesterday when I was on my way back, the only thing I saw floating was snook. But I know we did. I know I've seen some posts and stuff like that where we did lose some really nice trout.
Yeah, we did.
But the ones that did make it deep early and stayed deep, they're there.
Gotcha.
I mean, they're there.
That's good to hear.
I'm telling you, we've had, and I've gotten away from pitching live bait at them, man. I've just been throwing paddle tails and just slow rolling paddle tails. And like yesterday, we started off. I mean, the first cast we had a trout, and then I think we went 25 or 30, and I said, let's go try another place. And it's been getting hammered pretty good. The second place I went to didn't do it very good. So then I said, well, let's go down and see if we can work on some black drum and some redfish. And we ended up hooking 9 yesterday. I think we boated 5.
Very cool.
They just kept coming unpinned, but
that's a
all
good
15,
ratio,
25-pound fish. I mean, they were,
big chunks.
Big chunks. I mean,
so going back to the trout, are you finding that the trout that made it, did they stay in areas where there was current flow, or were they in deeper holes or back in areas like like our case, it was residential canals, and a lot of the little marshy basins that you typically can't get into very easily. Though the trout will, they'll rest in there, laying in those mud filled areas, if you will.
Yeah, no,
And
these were
and
all.
that's where we lost all our fish.
These were deep areas of current.
Deep in current.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's your they're like yesterday morning they were hanging up on the shelf, top of the shelf when the sun was coming up.
okay.
And they slow rolled off that shelf, and we were catching. I mean, they wouldn't even hit the water. I mean, I know it wouldn't even hit the bottom, and they were.
So they were suspended within the water column.
Yeah, they were definitely for sure. But but it also stays. Even on low tide, still probably 5 to 6 foot deep and current. So
Okay.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. And that's kind of what I focused on yesterday was doing that, because I figured, those are the best, places to catch them. When you get back into still water and stuff like that, when it's real shallow, even in the mud flats and stuff like that, like, I don't think they don't really stand a chance back there because it gets so cold back there. I mean, water temperature was down in 40s,
Upper 40s.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Even yesterday was, it was still 62, and it's still cold. All the fish are cold. I mean, they're just.
we're
cold.
still seeing fish that got cold stunned. We're still seeing those fish in some cases struggling. In fact, I was talking with a friend of mine who was fishing in one of the Merritt Island canals, and he said that he actually was watching a tarpon come up and roll, and then all of a sudden it just kind of went belly up. And here we are, multiple days
60s,
after the cold front.
Yeah, it's.
But that fish just didn't make it. And I was down in Sebastian yesterday and saw a couple of dead snook floating around. The day before, I was in the Indian River around Cocoa, Rockledge, Port St. John. Actually, I finished all the way up in Titusville on that day. I kind of covered a lot of water, hitting a lot of different spots, mainly looking for the drum schools. But it was overcast and a north wind, and it was just I just never found them.
See, that's crazy because yesterday it was bluebird skies, and
Yeah.
I mean,
But the day before was all totally overcast, and
that's why we.
but I found baby tarpon, a lot of mahara, a lot of black chin tilapia, some cichlids, some of those Mayan cichlids, and snook.
Dead.
They were dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dead floating, and some of them were pretty nice sized snook, which is in some of those backwater areas you don't realize that there's snook in these little muddy backwater holes. That are 28 to 35 inch fish.
See, last time we had to freeze, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, I saw a lot of snook die all over the place. Like, I didn't see anything dead until later in the morning. I mean, they had been rotten for sure, but floating until I got up near the creeks, up towards like JB's and all that stuff. Like, there was... I always saw 10 dead snook up there.
It looked like north of JB's from there, between there and like Calalisa, that whole area up there looks like it got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, I think it did. And I think that's where a lot of the fishing reports,
but once again, you're in a backwater, right, lower tidal flow, shallow area that they're expecting it to warm up, and it just didn't.
Well, I mean, there's deep holes in there too. I mean, there's a few deep holes I know back there. I fished somewhat, and they just gotta be smart enough to get there, I guess, or not get ran out. The only thing I saw dead down south yesterday was a shark.
Really, a shark?
Yeah, but I think he
like a bonnet head, or
I think it was a black tip.
Oh,
I saw
really?
the belly of it, and it had little black tips on his fins.
Oh, could be, yeah.
And he was about 2.5, 3 foot.
Interesting.
He was floating on top of the water, but he looked like he ate a rope, like it looked like a old crab trap rope or something. It was weird. Like, I don't know. I didn't like go over and investigate too much, but that was the only thing I saw dead. And I will tell you this: I did see as we were trout fishing, my client goes, "Hey, look at that shark right there." And I can tell you, it was a 4-footer, cruising along the bottom, Well, I'm like, well, that's probably why we're not getting bit over here.
Yeah.
Between that and
There's your
Johnny, the
sign.
Johnny Dolphin, there's about 50 million dolphin out there.
So I've got something Captain David Glasser told me about. It's a dolphin depredation device, and I think I'm going to get one.
Last time I was here, you told me about it, and I dropped the ball on that.
I keep saying to myself I'm going to get one, but I haven't been chasing trout a whole lot, and but the second you start chasing trout,
Oh,
they cover you up. The dolphins just absolutely cover you up, or start catching ladyfish. They cover you up.
I think they magically warp, like from one side of the lagoon to the other, because like there won't be any dolphin around, and all of a sudden you hook that first fish, and they're like, there he is, right there. Like,
Yep.
Where did you come from?
Exactly.
You weren't here,
They're in stealth mode.
dude. I'm telling you.
You know, they come in like periscope up, and that's it. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
I don't know where they come from, man. They get dropped in off of helicopters or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy how
It
they
is.
can all of a sudden materialize.
It's like, where did you come from?
You know, they say there's no such thing as aliens. I think dolphins may be aliens. You know, they just materialize out of thin air.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that at all. They got some magical powers, and
And the transporter beam, you know.
oh man, I'm telling you. Yesterday I was looking around, and and I'm looking around, and just paying. He's fishing.
Oh, you're constantly looking to see if
I'm
they're
always
coming.
looking.
Always.
And I'm like, there was no dolphins around. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I was like, oh, it's probably why we haven't caught a fish yet. And then the minute he gets bit, there he was. I'm like, where did you come from?
Yeah.
Like, must have been laying underneath the boat.
What's interesting to me is to watch them, because the second you hook a fish, they immediately come to you, okay?
Mhm.
And then they submerge, and they wait for the release.
Oh, they are not.
And they
dumb.
can hold their breath for a long time. But they sit down there, and if you watch them, if the water's clear and you watch them, they're actually taking their head and they're scanning back and forth. They look like a forward-facing sonar machine, scanning back and forth, waiting for that release. And the second you release, boom, they're on it. But they'll
Every
sit there
time.
and hold their breath and hold their breath and hold their breath. And you're like, okay, he must have left. It must be safe to release the fish now. And you release it, and I mean it in
Torpedo
2
right
seconds.
where you're
He's on,
fishing.
he's on it. They are definitely smart animals, but they need to get a job. This is not a.
We pay taxes. They don't.
Right.
They need to get on it.
They need to get off the freeloader fairway and start working for themselves again,
I heard that.
because that's the one frustrating thing to me is that
Well, the fish ought to get smarter too. I mean, think about it. 'Cause I was fishing next to Mike, man, one time. We were all struggling, and we were fishing up these docks, and he caught a nice red. His client caught a nice red off a dock, and I'm like, that's pretty good. Well, we goes let it go, and he goes up to the dock, and I'm like, just dude, let it go, get it in the dock, and he goes, revives it and all that stuff, lets it go in the dock. Next thing you know, the dolphin, that fish swam out of the dock and into the dolphin's mouth. I was like, you dumb fish. You deserve to get eaten, I guess. And Mike looked at me and I looked at him, and I'm like, I guess you just can't fix stupid sometimes. I don't know.
No.
Crazy.
One of the things that I'll do, and this is not legal. So for those of you out there that hear me, what I'm about to say, do as I say and not as I do. Don't keep a trout in your boat. But I will literally pack my live well full of trout and wait till I'm going somewhere else, or the dolphin is completely gone. We've stopped fishing and we move 200, 300, 400 yards. We get completely away from him. He realizes we're going somewhere else. He's given up interest. Then I'll take and put those trout back overboard next to some kind of form of structure, an overhanging mangrove tree or something, an oyster bar or something, an island. I go put them next to some form of structure so that they don't you're not releasing them back out into the open flat, if you will, where
Right.
they're fair game. Because, the dolphin, not only can they scan them with their sonar, but they also smell them. As soon as you hook a fish, it starts releasing pheromones that, that scent, the dolphin track that scent very easily.
Right.
And so what I'll do is if it's redfish, snook, whatever, I just put them in my live well. And when Mr. Dolphin goes away, then the fish can go back in the water. But I'm not going to sit there and reward bad behavior. And if I get to the point where, like, if you've caught 7 or 8 or 9 fish, and you've got them in the well, and the dolphin just aren't giving up, I'll just leave.
Yeah. So
I'll just pull away, and I'll go somewhere else and get as far, and then get them out of the boat. Now, am I running from point A to point B? And then no, I'm not doing that. But I get away from the area, or the threat of the dolphin gets away from the area. Then I'll release them. Like I said, I'm not saying that anybody else out there should do that, because if the man rolls up on you, guess what's going to happen? Even though you have the best of intentions and you're trying to practice catch and release, if the man rolls up on you and you got 9 trout and 4 snook in the well, guess what? That's a ticket.
Yeah, I mean, Mosquito Lagoon, I mean, you can go 100 yards one way, 100 yards another way, and get up on a flat and let them go. You know what I'm saying? So there's times where I've done that, especially in the big girls, like the big trout.
Especially big trout, yeah. Because you want to save this. They're so valuable. They have so many eggs. Their egg production is amazing, especially when they get in that 25 to plus inch range. The amount of eggs that a 25-inch trout can produce is the same as about 4 15-inch trout.
Yeah.
So
Mike Mann can tell you all about that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take our first break of the day. Hopefully you guys and gals are enjoying the show this morning. Captain Matt Lee and myself, Jim Ross, are going to be right back after these messages, so don't go away. Assassin, the most trusted name in bass fishing lures, is now the top soft plastic lure brand for saltwater. Sea trout, tarpon, redfish, and snook hammer the Saltwater Assassin 4-inch sea shad. With its amazing swimming action, this lure sets the bar for swim bait designs. Other companies continue to try, but none have been able to replicate the action of this incredible minnow-style lure. But Assassin has other proven designs. I like the native shiner colored 5-inch Shad Assassin. That's my go-to lure when I'm targeting big gator trout. Redfish love the Drunk Monkey or the Mudbug colored 4-inch Assassin Shrimp Cocktail. And you can rig these on a weedless worm hook or the amazing Assassin Springlock Jig Head. Now, these are just a few of my favorite Assassin lures. Check out what top professional anglers have known for years. Assassin lures simply catch more fish, and you can get them at your local tackle store or go to bassassassin.com and get some of these fantastic lures for yourself today. Starbright Premium Marine Polish helps keep your boat looking great. This easy-to-apply premium polish uses polymers instead of wax, so it lasts up to 3 times longer than traditional boat wax. The polymers in Starbright Premium Marine Polish are also easier to apply, block UV rays better, and help keep fish blood, slime, and poop and other stuff from sticking to your gel coat. Starbright Premium Marine Polish isn't a wax, it's a sealer. It's safe for all fiberglass, paints, and polished metals. You won't believe how awesome Starbright Premium Marine Polish will make your car or truck look too. Wax is for surfboards, not boats. Protect your boat with Starbright Premium Marine Polish. Hey guys and gals, welcome back. This segment of the show is brought to you by Direct Graphics. And if you're looking for anything to promote your business, obviously Direct Graphics is a great place to start. They can come up with a logo design for you if you need it. They can come up with any kind of boat wrap, truck wrap, anything that you guys and gals might need. Just give them a call at Direct Graphics right there in Cocoa, 321-631-1001. 631-1001, and tell them you heard about it right here on Catch Memory Outdoors. Hey, we're going to go to the phone lines. We got Captain Mike Mann in the call-in line this morning, and Mike, it sounds like you're getting ready to do a little cooking this morning.
I am. Got to do those Valentine's Day specials. Got to keep the wife happy, and it's she loves a good breakfast. So our son's at work, and I'm coming to Publix to pick up some ingredients and some flowers, guys. So. Publix opens at 7, so if you forgot stuff, you can always run to Publix to get some flowers at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, the flowers went from $23 last week to $40-something this week.
See, I'm lucky. My wife doesn't care about roses. She likes sunflowers.
No, that was just the regular old little, multi-flower packet that they have.
Yeah.
That was $9.99 2 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so that we have a reference 2 years ago, when we were buying them, they were like $9.98, $9.99. Then they went to $12 and $13 and $14. And last week, was it last week? Last week or the week before, we bought flowers. And then Robin went to buy some yesterday, and she was like, absolutely not. I'm not paying double the price that it's already doubled in 2 years. Yeah, she said the flowers were $40 at Publix yesterday. However, my wife is the best because she knows exactly the way to my heart. She comes home and she has me some dark chocolates, and she has me one of those little mini key lime pies.
See, I got spoiled spending all that time down in Key West. I can't buy key lime pies up here anymore. After eating Kermit's for like a week straight, I'm like, I can't get key lime pie up here anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. They've got those cookies there now that are crumble cookie knockoffs at Publix. We got them the other day. Dude.
I haven't tried
the pistachio ones.
Crumble cookie, huh?
Try it. Go to the bakery and ask them for the pistachio cookies.
Have you ever been to a crumble cookie?
I don't even know what that is.
Crumble cookie is the place you go and you get the gourmet cookies.
It's a chain.
Oh, it's a chain. Oh, okay. I thought it was a type of cookie that you got at Publix.
No, it's actually a place you go.
One cookie cooked to order is like $6.50 for one cookie.
But they're like this big. I mean, it's a big.
They're
cookie.
a meal in itself.
Yeah, I mean they're big.
Yeah,
cookies.
they're like 2,500 calories per cookie because they've got so much butter and sugar.
I'll tell you what's better than those is a Duck Donuts.
Oh.
Dunkin' Donuts is good.
No,
cookies?
a Duck Donut.
Duck Donut?
Yep.
The Duck Donuts is the bomb.
Up there near the Tanger outlets up there, they got a place called Duck Donuts.
Yeah.
And they cook to order. They cook your donut to order. So whatever donut you pick, and they got 40 flavors.
Really?
My favorite is plain old cinnamon sugar. But they do it hot. They make it's hot.
Kind of like an updated version of Krispy Kreme.
Oh my gosh! You want to talk about?
Because when the hot now sign is on, you know you got to pull in.
I just gained a pound.
When you see the hot now sign pop on, they just came out. It's time. You got to pull in.
You got to get one.
You can't stop.
That's why I don't even go that way. But Mike, he talks all the time. You hear Mike. He said he got spoiled a bunch of stuff, and he did ask. He hasn't really. Our running joke is the donut thing. And I stopped and got a bunch of donuts one morning for everybody, and he's like, I don't want any donuts, I want apple fritter. So I had to buy a $3 apple fritter for the guy because I didn't want to leave him out, But talk about being spoiled.
Yeah.
He's shopping at the most expensive displays, to take his wife to
there's something
Cuba.
to be said. Those apple fritters from 7-Eleven are they're pretty on point.
Yeah. You guys are eating way better than me in the morning. I'm eating like an egg.
Normally, I don't eat anything in the morning unless Matt brings something. Normally, I have a Cuban coffee in the morning.
He just going to show you how nice of a guy I am, Jim.
But I'm just not a big morning eater unless I'm off. If I'm off, the only reason I make breakfast is because my wife is home.
Gotcha.
So I love breakfast, but I'm trying to keep the lbs down a little bit.
Yeah, I've given up on that. If it comes off, it comes off. If it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off. I've given up.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean,
I'm not going to put it this way. I'm not going to be unhappy or hungry just to save a pound. Let's just put it that way.
You can start meeting me and Mike at the gym. You can start pumping some iron with us too, Jimbo.
I do, man. I do.
You can come meet me and Mike.
That's a long ride.
We're at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're there.
Right.
5 in the morning, you should be getting the boat ready.
When the day's off.
Well, the last 2 months have been a little slow, so
Hey, Mike,
next week.
Talking real quick about going back to the cookie thing. Okay, so Heath cookies at Publix. Have you tried those?
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's my go-to.
Yes.
If I had to get a cookie, I think the Heath cookies from Publix. That's my go-to.
Yeah, those are pretty decadent. I like those. Problem is, it's a whole box of them. So
and I don't see a problem with that.
10, 15, I know. I don't either, but the
I don't see
it's in a white box.
It's a win-win.
Try their crumble cookie knockoffs. The double chocolate, it's in a white box. There's only 2 cookies, and it's like $4.50 for 2 cookies, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm telling you, Jimmy.
I'll have to try that then. Actually, Robin's going to be up your
perfect.
way today. She's going up to see her friend Ellie, who lives off of Pioneer up there, and so
I know I said this. I know I said this already, Mike.
Hey,
but-
here's
but
a-
go
I
to
got
the
a
bakery
question.
and try their pistachio cookies. They're not that big. They're like the size of an Oreo.
right.
But my kid, back in the day, she kept asking for these dang cookies, man. And I didn't know what the heck they were. She's like, "Oh, we gotta go over there. They're a little bit pricey." But I tell you what,
Wait,
let's slap
now,
your
where do
mom.
you get? Hold on. Where do you get pistachio cookies? Because
The
I'm
bakery
a
in
pistachio
Publix.
fanatic.
Go to the bakery in Publix, where they got the
Yeah.
cookies and cakes
Oh,
and
you're
stuff.
talking about the macaroons.
Whatever they are, they're pistachio. Yeah.
But
Pis-
they're like two cookies with the cream in the middle.
yeah, but they're green on the outside.
Oh yeah. Those are macaroons.
They're so good.
I'll have to give it a try. Well, hey, Mike, real quick. So, Robin and Ellie are going to go to lunch up there. Where would you suggest that they go to lunch today?
What do they want?
Yeah, what are they in the mood for?
Seafood.
But I
You
mean,
get either good.
They
or
normally
cheap.
go to
Outriggers?
JB's or they'll go to
I'd go to the garlic.
they go to the garlic a lot. Yeah.
it's not open for lunch, so
Oh,
try Outriggers.
Outriggers?
Oh man, yeah, their tuna triangles are awesome.
I don't really care for outriggers.
And
Go to Merck's, get you a beer,
I like,
cheap.
yeah, I like them both. Merck's is good, but Merck's is a sports bar.
Yeah.
They want to have like a nice lady lunch. So
Mertz?
So yeah, I would try.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Merck's is a sports bar. That might be a little.
Yeah,
I mean,
bit much. Bit out of context.
I mean, they want to have the lady lunch. They can sit around, talk around, and have their, skinny margaritas or whatever the hell they're drinking.
And where's that at?
Outriggers. It's right there.
Oh, I know where it's at. Okay, yeah. I know.
Yeah. The big-
Actually, it's funny.
big
There's an
marina.
Outriggers in Sebastian, too, and we ate there last Friday night with Blair and Kerry Wiggins and Jeff and Leslie
right.
Kranick. We went down there. And I tell you what, for a little hideaway back in the off the beaten path, they do a good job,
Yeah.
and their prices are cheap. You can go there and get like a shrimp basket for the same price as you go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac.
That's
see,
not
that's
saying
nice.
much anymore. They're
No, what I'm
$40
saying
a
is
big
you get a decent shrimp basket for the same price as trash in a bag.
I get it.
Yeah. It's gotten to be where eating out's gotten so expensive. Most of the time I cook at home. I've gotten where I do, like, we wanted poke the other day, and we can go out and spend $50 for 2 poke bowls, or I can spend 25 and make, like, super poke bowls at home.
Yeah. Well, you're a chef
and that's-
too, so I mean, you have that. If Mike Evers has to stop guiding between he's a very good cook because he's a chef, plus he knows how to bartend. I mean, he's got some he's got some bases covered.
Well, if you ever book a charter with him and you request the panga and go on his panga, he's got a grill there, and when you're fishing, he's out there and he's cooking you food. You didn't know that?
No, don't say that. I'll have people calling me now. I have to go buy a dang grill for the thing.
Yeah, I'd like the red snapper tour.
He
The
likes
6-hour red
he
snapper
likes to
tour.
grill the snapper. He's got he brings the scallops with him, but he does like the red snapper, scallops, Alfredo.
You know what's
All right.
surprising about that? Whenever they closed Red Snapper down, you know how they have those
price of grills
they
went
have the stainless steel magma grills that you can clamp onto a railing or put in a rod holder, a rod holder mount.
Started going for sale.
They went through the roof. I mean, it was like you couldn't even find one. They were so popular.
Well, if you want to split a charter with me, we'll go with Mike, and we'll do the red. He'll bring the scallops and the red snapper, and he'll do us a red snapper scallops Alfredo.
I'm all about
with,
that.
with garlic bread.
Fresh,
Fresh.
First
hand
of
baked.
all
Fresh.
those things you put together made no sense. The Alfredo snapper.
You could do Alfredo with like Alfredo sauce and
How about
noodles
a
and
how about a
snapper and
pesto? How
scallops.
about a pesto scallop and
I mean, I'm not really picky on what you
and
cook,
a fire
Mike.
roasted snapper, snapper fillet?
If you go high class, he does tomahawks. Tomahawk
Oh,
steaks.
there's an
Snapper.
upcharge for the tomahawks there.
There is a little
Yeah.
bit.
Guys and gals, we're going to come back, and we're actually going to talk fishing in the next segment. Don't go away. We got Captain Mike Mann on the line. We're going to be right back. Grill's Seafood Deck and Tiki Bar is one of the Space Coast's most popular local hangouts. We love to kick back and relax at either of their waterfront locations with a cool tropical frozen drink and some of the freshest island-style seafood around. Grill's is known for its fantastic food quality, like their bacon-wrapped scallops, shrimp Cuban sandwich, or one-of-a-kind Bahamian fish chowder. The Tiki Deck features some of the area's best local bands throughout the week, plus Grill's has a fantastic breakfast menu, too. Chill out at Grill's original location in the Cove at Port Canaveral, right next to Sunrise Marina, or check out Grill's Riverside location on Highway US 1, just north of the Pineda Causeway. Go to www.grillsseafood.com for more information, and remember, it all happens at Grill's. Nobody likes to pay for insurance, but you have to have it. So do what I did. Go to Petrucci Insurance. They're your local independent insurance agent, and they're here to make sure you get the right policy to fit your insurance needs at the best price available. I gave Petrucci Insurance a call. They reviewed my current policy and saved me $700 on my home insurance alone. Plus, Petrucci found me better coverage than the policy I had with my other company that I'd been with for years. Don't waste money another day. Call Petrucci Insurance at 321-632-1200. That's 321-632-1200. And stop wasting money on your home, car, boat, and life insurance today. Trailer problems can be a real daybreaker. When you need to go to the area's best trailer supply and repair shop, try Ferguson's. Family owned and operated since 1954 and located on Highway 192 in West Melbourne, Ferguson's has a huge supply of trailer tires, wheels, axles, lights, jacks, and other trailer parts in stock. If you're not a do-it-yourselfer, stop by and pick up the parts you need. If not, let their expert staff do the repairs for you. Ferguson's also installs electric brake controllers, trailer hitches, and goosenecks. They have a full line of automotive and marine interstate batteries, so if you need a trailer maintenance, repair part, or a new Continental boat trailer, go to the best trailer shop on the Space Coast, Ferguson's. Check them out at fergusonstrailersupply.com or call their shop at 321-723-5425. Hey guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in to last segment's cooking part of the show. Cooking, eating, wishing we had some sweets kind of thing part of the show. So Mike, I was asking Matt, our trout down here, we lost some fish. We lost some snook, we lost some tarpon. Matt says he's still doing good on trout in deep water current scenarios up in your neck of the woods. Are you finding kind of that same kind of a thing yourself, or have you been focusing on something else?
No, I'm finding that as well. And so kind of what we're doing is, what I've been doing is at first thing in the morning, I'm going up, I'm either looking for tailing fish or reds or black drum pushing. Mm-hmm. Then once we get tired of that, then we're kind of switching over, or if the wind picks up, we're switching over, going to the trout in some deeper water. And I'm expecting them to start moving more shallow a little bit over the next, because I looked at the next 2 weeks, man, there's some warm weather coming. I mean, it looks nice. The end of the month, I mean, it's all, the last 2 weeks of the month, it's pretty much all 70s with the exception of Monday? All high, mid-70s for the highs.
Gotcha.
So I'm expecting those fish to start kind of, with that water warming up, I'm expecting them to start kind of moving up a little bit more shallow to the edges. But, man, there's been some big schools. They've been a little, this past week when I was on them, they were either really happy or really, really working out and running a lot.
Yeah. That was the drum and the reds?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was, I found a bunch. I think we were out Tuesday and we're shooting some video. And, we were on a school of probably 200, and we got one redfish out of them and one trout. It was this mixed school. It had redfish and trout in it, which was kind of interesting.
Interesting.
Like one part of it would be like big trout. The other side would be reds. And they were up fairly shallow. So I will say the bigger trout I've been finding have been up shallower on the sandy areas where, there's some good sun, and the good keeping size to the smaller ones have been a little bit deeper. But I have heard some reports of like some 23s and 24s being caught deeper.
Gotcha. Yeah, I heard Tiger this week has had some fish on it, but the dolphins have been just out of control in there.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
almost
dolphins are
impossible. It's
crazy.
almost impossible to fish right now.
And there's some pretty well-known schools out there. There's a couple of guys that every day they're on those fish, pounding them, and they're breeders, and I feel bad for the fish, so I don't even want to mess with those guys. So I've been going, I've been hitting some out of the way places, and especially if you get up in the North Creeks, you got to know where you're going. But there's some really, with this colder weather, there's been some really great fishing up there, especially on some of the deeper points and where you got current coming around a point. There's been some really good fishing up there.
What's been your go-to this week? I mean, are you throwing live baits, or are you throwing artificials, or a little of both?
Both. So we got trout on fly. We got redfish on a Z-Man paddler, the small 3-inch. I was throwing the diesel minnow, which is a 4-inch, and just never got any action on it. So I dropped down to the 3-inch weedless. So I don't even have a jig head on it, so it's right at 3 inches. It doesn't have that extra 1/8 ounce, jig head, make it even bigger. And that's what I got the redfish to eat on, but doing a really, really slow crawl with it.
Like a weedless worm hook, weedless weighted worm hook?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That way it wasn't picking up any of that slime and stuff on the bottom. But the shrimp, they will eat a shrimp, and if you can find finger mullet, once that sun starts popping, they will slay them. The trout will, and the redfish will. Okay. But you got to wait till that warm. This past week you've had to wait till that sun started hitting the water a little.
Gotcha. Well, buddy, how does somebody get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I've still got the last week of the month open, and a lot of days in March. You can give me a call at area code 386-295-5991. You can go right to my website, fatfishguide.com. You can book it from there and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, CAPT, Mike Mann with 2 N's.
Awesome, buddy. We appreciate the chatter this morning, and enjoy your Valentine's Day with the missus.
My pleasure. And hey, ladies, if you want to get your guy something for Valentine's Day, we have gift certificates.
There you go. Right on the website. You can print it right out.
Yep. Right on the website. So, guys, get out there and catch a memory. Have a great weekend.
All right. Take care, Mikey.
See you, buddy.
All right.
It's interesting. Everything this time of the year, if you downsize, you obviously start catching more fish. Captain Glenn Austin and I had a 2-boat trip in Sebastian yesterday, and we found if you threw anything bigger than 4 inches, you're absolutely wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely wasting your time. And we actually did best on just goofy jigs, even in the flat. It was goofy jigs without a feather on it, because you know how you can either get them with or without the feather. The feather baits were not catching nearly as good as the non-feathered baits, or hair jig, or whatever you want to call that little fly that is attached to the top of it. But it was distinct in that they were not striking bigger baits. It was a very distinct pattern.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday too. We went down to, we started with 3-inch baits, and then we went to 4 because I was trying different colors, and then the 4s weren't getting hit at all, so I went back down to 3s, and then right out the rip. It was you could tell the difference. They want that smaller bait, even though I was running with a jig head. I wasn't running a weed.
Are you getting any of the black drum to eat artificial? Or are they
I haven't
just
thrown artificial at them.
No? Okay. So just a shrimp or
I haven't been trying to push them too hard, because they do get a tendency to run.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
And so I'm making big throws in front of them, 10, 15 feet, and just letting them come in and work themselves. Yeah. Not trying to push them too hard, because like I said,
are you tearing the shrimp in half or ripping the head off?
I take the tail off.
Tail off. Okay.
Yeah, just the flap. And then
so you're rigging it in the front, tail cut the tail off.
No, I'm rigging it in the tail.
Rigging it, or just pinching the tail fan off.
Yep.
And just rigging it backwards. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can either one or two ways. Either rig that jig head like a worm.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, or that big notch right at the very very end of it, that hard notch right before the flipper.
Yep.
Just take the flipper off and put it right there. They're eating both of them.
Gotcha. So, Yeah, I got frustrated with them. They were just twirling like sprayed roaches, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. So I just started ripping the heads off the shrimp, and then we started immediately started getting picked up. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be alive. It just needs to have scent.
Right.
And the other thing I found this week, especially with my artificials, either bang scent sprayed onto the artificial if it was a bucktail or whatever, or the gels, the ProCure gels.
Haven't
Making
had any of that.
huge difference in the artificial bite.
I haven't had to add any of that as far as the bite goes.
Maybe because you're fishing an area with current, and I'm fishing an area without current.
Probably. Yeah, that's what I would say. But I've just been throwing the Z-Man 3-inch, and I like the diesel minnows and stuff like that. The paddlers, I don't really think they give off enough vibration as far as I like.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of stay with those Z-Man, like the diesels. But I think it's a diesel. I'll have to go back and look now. But anyway, I said it out loud.
That's what their 4-inch minnows called.
Okay, whatever 3-inch is, but it's not the paddlers. I don't remember what it is now. I have to look it up.
Right.
But anyway, I like the 3-inch ones and those. And the colors have been working the best of the Creole croaker, which is like a green and silver.
Yeah. Yeah.
The white with a red tail. Any kind of silvers, any kind of like clear baits. They've been hit like white or clear.
Yeah.
That's what they've been chewing on.
I've been using I started using these Ned rigs.
Okay.
Here recently, and the VMC has a swinging Ned rig, which
I see that
has a hook that's attached to a jig head, but the whole thing
wiggles
can swing because it's put together with like a little split ring or whatever. So, long story short, I've been using a lot of the salted Ned rolls, and I know it's a freshwater bait, but it's made from Rapala makes it. It's in their Crush City line, and it's in that super stretchy stuff. The problem is rigging those things. They're really difficult to rig straight, so you have to take your time. It's not something that you can just swap out real fast like you can. Like a saltwater assassin, you can swap that thing out in just seconds.
Right.
You have to take your time to rig it properly. And then the green or the watermelons, the kind of the watermelon greens, especially if they have a red flake in them, that's been a dynamite one for me. And then in the saltwater assassin, the little P&V, which is a little dart style bait, and rigging that either on a Ned head or on a spring lock head, where you thread it on and then you twirl it around to thread it onto the spring. Those two have been dynamite for me. And there's one called Goby, and one called what's the other name? Northern Craw. There's one called Northern Craw that has been fabulous for me this week.
Good.
So that's kind of that, but yeah, it sounds like they're very similar color patterns to what you're throwing. But those baits can be worked super slow, and with that Ned rig, the tail of those things stands up. The head's down and the tail stands up, and as soon as the fish starts swimming past it, it undulates because of the compression wave coming off of the fish.
Looks
It already looks like it's moving, and they have been just
I'll look into that.
pretty neat little bait, that's for sure. But that's been my go-tos in the flats this week.
Sounds good. I've seen them. I just haven't tried them. Now, yesterday, my client, he showed up with the NLBNs, no live bait needed, whatever. And I've never thrown them, whatever. But he was catching on those too.
Did he? Mm. I'm not necessarily a fan of those things. I mean, they do work, but everything works,
In a certain type of situation.
Would I say that they're the best looking plastic that I've seen out there? Absolutely not.
No.
Would I say that they're the best action based bait out there? Absolutely not. But where they shine is in a current scenario, like if you're fishing Sebastian Inlet and you really don't need a whole lot of action per se, because the bait's going past the fish that's hiding behind the rock, and the current's doing 3 knots or 4 knots.
Right.
They don't get a chance to look at it very long.
No, they don't.
And so the profile in that scenario seems to work pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't find that, like if you fish the NLBNs side by side with a saltwater assassin shad tail,
Mm-hmm.
the saltwater assassin will outfish at 3-1.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely 3-1.
I don't think they don't set out that. I mean, they do have a little. Like I was watching it yesterday. Like they have decent swim action, but when you get that, it didn't seem like it was wobbling.
Right.
A lot.
It just has a tail kick.
Just
It
a
has
tail
no
kick.
wobble.
Yeah, that's it. But when you get like a saltwater assassin or even a Z-Man or whatever, I mean, you got the body working, you got the tail working. I mean, you're setting off a lot more vibration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that fish can find that closer. I have a buddy of mine, his son. He runs them in LBNs, but he bass fishes a lot, and he does really good on them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something I've ever. Every time I've ever looked at him, I'm just like, you know, because I'm still partial with Z-Man and saltwater assassin and different things that I've always fished. You know, it's hard to pick somebody. You know what they say is like.
You have to have a confidence bait.
You do. You have to have a confidence bait, but they say like the lures are not to attract the fish, it's to attract the fishermen.
Right.
And when it doesn't catch my eye, like, man, that'll really work, or you know, I should really try that. It's not something that I'm going to pick up and use, but not to say they don't work.
Right. So. Exactly. Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more with Captain Matt Lee and myself, Jim Ross. So don't go away. We're going to be back with more Catch a Memory after this message. Who's got the best selection of rods and reels from Penn, Daiwa, and Shimano? Lures from No Live Bait Needed, Rapala, Mirror Lure, and Saltwater Assassin, and one of the largest selections of coolers and boating supplies in the entire state. Well, Ace Hardware in Titusville, that's who. Ace in Titusville is your one-stop shop for all of the fishing and boating supplies you'll need. Ace is just minutes away from the Titusville boat ramps, and their parking lot allows you to get in and out even when you're trailering your boat. Check out the largest selection of fishing and boating gear in the northern Space Coast area at Ace Hardware in Titusville on US 1.
If you listen to this show, you know Captain Jim Ross is a leading authority on light tackle fishing on Florida's Space Coast. Jim grew up on the banks of the Indian River Lagoon and has been a full-time fishing guide for almost 30 years. In that time, Jim's clients have landed over 30,000 trout, redfish, snook, and tarpon from our local waters. So if you're looking for an experienced fishing guide to take you on your next fishing adventure, book a trip with Captain Jim Ross. Just go to finelinefishingcharters.com to book your next trip with Captain Jim and get ready to catch your next
Hey, let me tell you
memory.
about Realtor Daniel Hart. He's a guy that really cares about helping his community and our local lagoons. Daniel has already donated thousands of dollars to the Indian River Lagoon Clam Restoration Project from the proceeds of property he sells, and he continues to do this every time he helps one of you buy or sell a property. This makes a huge impact each year for the water quality of our lagoons. Daniel is also passionate about first responders throughout his community. Through his Heroes Real Estate Group, Heroes Rebate Program, Daniel has personally donated over $70,000 to help police, firefighters, veterans, and even school teachers by returning money to them from the purchases of their homes. Going above and beyond for you is what Realtor Daniel Hart is all about. If you're buying or selling a property, call Realtor Daniel Hart to help. Daniel can be reached at 407-247-3894. That's 407-247-3894. Hey guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch a Memory. This segment of the show is brought to you by Engel Coolers, and if you go to engelcoolers.com, you can check out all the cool stuff that they have. Also, a couple of our show sponsors, Ace in Titusville and Strike Zone in Melbourne, both typically carry a lot of their products. So stop in there, check them out. I'm a big fan of their bait coolers. The 19 size works really good for me, especially if I've got shrimp or sand fleas. And if you guys and gals have a kayak or a paddle board, something like that, it's a great way for you to be able to add live bait to your fishing day without having to have something that's just overly large and out of control. And the nice thing about it is you can put some little EVA foam feet on the bottom of them so they don't slide around. They'll stick pretty good on top of a board or on top of in a kayak, so you don't have them sliding around like you would potentially without them. So that's one of the things I like to check out. But you can check out whatever you want, inglecoolers.com, and we appreciate them sponsoring this segment of the show. Matt, we had let's do the catch conditions and throw those out there real quick. Fishing and boating conditions from Ponce to Sebastian today. They've changed the forecast 3 times in the last 24 hours, but today they've got northeast coming east and then potentially coming east southeast by this evening. So it's going to kind of clock around between 5 and 15 knots. It's calmer in the morning, a little more in the afternoon. Seas inside of 20 miles are supposed to be 2 to 3 feet with a dominant period of around 4 to 10 seconds. The 4 second is the wind chop. The 10 second is the swell. I'm sure there's going to be some combinations in there that are not going to quite be those as well. But that's kind of what it's looking like right now. 4 Mile buoy out of Canaveral is 65 degrees and 2 feet at 10 seconds. 20 Mile buoy was 71 degrees, 2 feet at 9 seconds. And the 6 Mile buoy out of Fort Pierce was 69 degrees and 2 feet at 10 seconds. Western edge of the Gulf Stream is about 46 nautical miles out of Ponce, 35 out of Canaveral, and 28 out of Sebastian. And the current surf temps, we've got 58 up at Ponce, 61 at Cocoa Beach, and 64 down at Sebastian. Tides look like this. We've got a low tide coming up at 11:51 a.m. and a high coming up at 5:33 p.m. and then a low at 11:50 a.m. and a 5:43 high this afternoon up at Sebastian Inlet. And then, I was checking on the solar lunar tables for this whole week, and the solar lunar tables are actually looking pretty good. Right now, we came out of a minor that was early morning. We're coming into a major today that's going to start right around 9:25 and go to about 11:25. So it looks like it's going to be a fairly decent morning. And then you've got another minor right around 3:05 to 4:05 p.m. And the minors are into the, like right into the 30s, 30% range, but the majors are all way up in the 90% range. So,
wow,
good. Looks like a pretty decent bite this morning, mid morning bite, and it looks like we're going to see that rotate onto around the noon time frame. By the time you get to around Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be right around that noon time frame. So, looks like it's going to be a decent week of fishing. When you were talking about catching fish throughout the day, that midday major obviously helps in those cases. And so that's and sunshine.
Oh yeah,
sure. The warmer it gets, the better the fish seem to bite in the wintertime. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty decent turnout. But that was the Soul Lunars are brought to you by All About Archery down in Melbourne. If you guys haven't been down to All About Archery, you need to stop in, check it out. Tell Tino you heard about it right here on the Catch a Memory Outdoors show. And if you got a crossbow or a compound bow, it's time. It's off season. Get it down there, get it tuned up, make sure everything's right. Make sure you don't need new cables or strings. Make sure your cam timing is on, because all it takes is just a little bit of being out of tune or out of adjustment, and all of a sudden you start making big misses, especially when you start reaching out 30, 40, 50 yards, and you're wondering, why am I so off? And a lot of times it's just that your cable stretches, your string stretches, and you get a little off on your cam timing, and that's all it takes. When you look at, if I'm shooting at 10 yards, my margin of error is small, but by the time I get to 50 yards, my margin of error could be literally 6-7 inches.
Yeah, now you're seeing these people stretch those compound bows out and they're shooting 100 yards.
Oh, Tino's he's 120 with his.
Good Lord have mercy.
He's I mean, let's put it this way: if the zombie apocalypse starts tomorrow, I want to be on Tino's team, because dude is dead silent with that Hoyt bow and shoots stuff out at a length of a football field. Killing it.
Yeah, but then you got to go out there and get them arrows and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not worried about getting it back out of the zombie. I just, we just buy more arrows.
I know where I'm going. That's for sure. I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to my buddy's house in Tennessee. That's all I got to tell you.
Yeah.
I ain't going to tell you what he's got or how much he's got, but I can tell you what, we ain't going. You
won't be light.
We gonna put a hurting on him.
You're going to roll in heavy, huh?
We going to put a hurting on him for sure. That's crazy.
I was sitting there looking at my ammo the other day, and I was going, I need to go shoot some of this, because I've got Is there such thing as too much ammo?
No.
I didn't think there was. I just wanted to double check. I needed a second opinion.
Well, my girlfriend said the same thing. She walks in the back room. She goes, "What is all that?" I'm like, it's all ammunition. She goes, "You really need that much?" I was like, "Absolutely. I don't have enough." Do you really need that many guns? I don't have enough.
I don't have enough.
If you got a good deal, I'm going to buy it. Like, sorry, if it comes down to like a good deal on a gun or your flowers, like I'm gonna go force a firearm. Like,
yeah,
you can never have too many.
I agree.
My parents are probably sitting home watching this thing, going, "Yeah, that's my son.
Yeah, that's him.
That's my boy. He never has enough firearms. It's okay though. If you need to borrow some, I got some.
No, I'm pretty good right now.
I'm just saying, if zombie apocalypse comes up,
I'm pretty
you
good.
need help. I'll help you, big guy.
You know a guy, huh?
I know a guy. I'll have him sit back in his room. My buddy's got he's got a whole room in his house, and that's all he's got is reloading stuff. I mean, it's just as far as a whole room.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
He does a lot.
I got into doing a little bit of reloading about this time last year, and that's one of the reasons that I've got as much ammo as I have right now. When you start looking at 223 in particular, for our AR platforms and 308, when you have the ability to run through, magazines in seconds, it doesn't take long to burn through 1,000 rounds.
No.
And so you start looking at how many thousand rounds do I have, and you go,
10
yeah,
seconds.
I don't have enough. But
20
yeah,
seconds.
I mean, when you literally look at it as a time versus shot capacity ratio, you put that matrix out there, you go, this is not that much.
No, if you boil it down to that, yes. But if you go if you look at it at a point where all you do is shoot target a few times, you take a deer hunting. You get 2 boxes of shells. Okay, that's 40 deer.
As a perfect example, my 270 bolt action 270, I've got ammo that's going on 6 years old now because I bought like 4 boxes, but the gun's on. I don't shoot but 2 or 3 deer a year, at the most.
You don't need it.
So I shoot 3 bullets a year. I've still got 3 boxes left.
Perfect.
And a half of the box that I started with.
Right.
So, but when you're looking at higher capacity stuff, and my 22 Magnum is another one because I've got a little Kel-Tec CMR, which is a 30-round capacity magazine, and it is so much fun to shoot. But like you set up your multi-target scenario where you've got your irons and your spinners and you just start running magazines at that thing, just ding 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 ding. I've just got a little red dot on that, but I've got it, and what's weird is I had it focused. I had the red dot centered for 100 yards, and I ended up actually bringing it back to 50.
Why?
Because I don't shoot more than 50 with that thing most of the time anyway. And at 100, I'm only an inch low.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Actually, it's an inch high. At 50 yards, it's an inch high if I shoot at the 100-yard target because it's higher at 50 than it is at 100. So it'll actually drop. So all I have to do is just take into account, just like you would if you zeroed your deer rifle.
Right.
If you zeroed it at 200 yards, at 100 yards, you're just an inch and a half high typically.
Right.
So all you do is you just aim an inch low, and you're dead on. It's the same thing with this at 50 and then going to 100. But that little gun is, it is so much fun to mess around with. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg, I
tell you the gun it's fun to play around with that 300 Blackout.
Yeah, you like that?
I've got an AR platform. At 100 yards, ding, 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 ding. Like, I remember talking to you about this years ago. My kid was small, and it's actually her gun. And she was very intimidated shooting it. And after she shot it one time, she's like, "Can I shoot again?" I'm like, "Sure, shoot." No. By the time she knew it, she threw a whole box.
Yeah.
She's like, "This is fun."
That's what it's about. It's about having fun.
It doesn't kick. It's not real loud.
No.
100 yards, when you tinging that thing every time, it's like, oh, yeah, okay. Like shooting a 22, high power 22, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
I think my next thing is I need to get some suppressors. That's my next thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's a whole nother can of worms to open up.
Sure it is.
But I think that's the next thing is everything needs to be suppressed.
I'll tell you what, though, I've been watching a lot of YouTube and stuff on these shooting and stuff like that, and I'm impressed of how many different calibers are out now. and all the ranges they're shooting in, like they shot, like I watched the guy shoot the 6.5 Creedmoor versus the 308, you know, and like that 6.5 is a bad round. I mean, 1,000 yards, they were shooting 1,000 yards and like
and hitting targets.
yeah.
Well, guys and gals, we're going to be back with a whole nother hour of Catch Your Memory right after this. Captain Matt Lee and myself, Jim Ross, so don't go away.
You're listening to WWBC, Cocoa, Melbourne, Titusville, 1510 AM, as well as W234BI, Cocoa, Rockledge, and W264AS, Rockledge, Melbourne, Palm Bay, and 100.7 FM.
If you're a shooting enthusiast like I am, you have to check out the incredible lineup from Kel-Tec. Developed and made right here in Central Florida, Kel-Tec is a leading industry manufacturer of shotguns, rifles, pistols, and guess what? They're all chambered in common calibers that we all love to shoot. Whether you're a weekend plinker or you want some advanced personal carry or home protection options, Kel-Tec makes exactly what you need. Find a dealer near you or check out the entire line of Kel-Tec weapons, accessories, and apparel by going to keltecweapons.com.
Your boat's upholstery looked great when it was new, but over time it gets dingy and stained. Starbright has the perfect combination for your problem. Starbright Ultimate Vinyl Cleaner and Ultimate Vinyl Guard. Starbright's Ultimate Vinyl Cleaner won't dry or fade your vinyl. It has powerful cleaning agents that blast away fish blood, grease, road grime, and more without harmful chemicals that ruin your boat's vinyl. Starbright's Ultimate Vinyl Guard is like a sunblock for your boat's vinyl cushions. It restores moisture and shine to sun-bleached vinyl without being slippery. Plus, it blocks harmful UV rays and helps keep your vinyl cleaner longer. Starbright Ultimate Vinyl Guard is great for plastic, rubber, and leather, too. It's ideal protectant for trucks and cars as well. Use Ultimate Vinyl Guard on your car or truck dashboard, seats, and door panels. Heck, you can even use it on the sidewalls of your truck or trailer tires. Starbright Ultimate Vinyl Guard makes all your stuff look great.
Batten down the hatches. We've got another great hour with Captain Jim Ross and this week's special guest starting right now.
Hey, guys and gals, we appreciate you tuning back for hour number 2 of Catch Your Memory Outdoors. You know, we were talking a little bit about calibers here in the last little segment. And, you're right, Matt. It's something funny, though. There's this whole stigma with guys that are shooting 6.5 for deer. And I don't know if it's a thing or if it's really not a thing, okay? You can't say that the round is good, bad, or indifferent because shot placement counts for a lot.
Yes, okay? It does.
I know guys that hunt with 223, 223, 5.56. They're shooting, 77 grain bullets and they're killing deer.
That's a little low for me.
It's a little low, right?
I don't take a chance.
But I know guys that do it.
I mean, each of their own.
Varmint hunting, coyotes, stuff like that. A lot of guys do that. But I've heard of more guys losing deer, not being able to find them after they shot them, that shoot 6.5 Creedmoor, other than basically anything else.
So I may be wrong on this. Now I'm not 100%.
Even though it's a flat round, a fast round. It's basically it's a 7 millimeter, neck down or whatever it is. It's a great flat shooting bullet, but there's something about that bullet that does not stop deer very well unless you hit something, unless you hit them perfectly.
So what I understand about those is I was talking to a guy not gonna mention names or anything, but he said shoot soft points, shoot them with soft points, and you'll have more, like, it's better to shoot a deer with a 6.5 Creedmoor with a soft point than it is like a
polymer
ballistic,
tip or
yeah,
something.
ballistic tip or something like that. Just because that, from what I understand, the round is so fast. Like, if it doesn't hit bone, it's just zipping through them, and it's just like almost sealing them. Like,
It's not enough mass.
right? It's like it's
Here's an example. I know exactly what you're talking about because I've got a 270 that I've got. I'm shooting 130 grain rounds through, and I've got a 270 that I'm shooting 150 grain rounds through. Okay, the 270 with 130 grain. If you shoot a deer, that deer's going to go 50 yards, or maybe more. That's with 130 grain. The same caliber with 150 grain, that deer doesn't take a step. It drops.
But you see, it's all different in different guns and different strap placements too. Because
Well,
think
I'm
about
shooting the exact same bullet. The Federal bullet, Federal Fusion. I'm shooting the exact same bullet in both guns. The 130 grain, the deer will go farther than it will with the 150 grain.
But think about it like this: if you shoot, now I've only known of, like, I don't really know a lot about muzzleloaders. I know that I can kill them with them or whatever, and we haven't really killed a lot with muzzleloaders. But here's what I do know that I've seen: and you're shooting a bullet that's like slapping them with a 2x4.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's half the size of a bowling ball.
You can knock them over, and they'll roll, and they'll get back up, and they'll run. Now, you won't get a blood trail for 50, 60 feet, 70 feet, 100 feet. But when you do, you get a good blood trail. But why can you go from, you're socking them with a hammer? You would think, man, I got a hole that big in a devastation. I should have blood trail immediately.
Right.
And they should never get up in reality. But you shoot them with a small grain, 150 grain, or 130 grain, or whatever, and it's mind-boggling on the whole deal. Like, I don't know if you could ever really get into the whole ballistic thing and make it make sense in this amount of time we have left.
Right,
like,
right.
It is so strange, but it all boils down to, like you said, shot placement. You shoot a deer in the right place, you're gonna find a deer. You shoot a deer, no land, and you're gonna, it's gonna be tough. I don't care.
I would say that everybody needs to practice shooting.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Absolutely.
Because you never know when you may accidentally do something that you're not on target. Okay.
Absolutely.
Whether it's twitch, sneeze, blink, whatever it happens to be, don't breathe properly.
Right.
There's always something that can potentially mess your shot up. But Tino Valverde at All About Archery is really, really good about teaching this in a bow aspect. And I'm sure there's guys out there that are teaching this in a gun aspect as well. Everything has to be replicated identically to the way it was before, that when you got the good shot.
Right.
Okay. The second that anything gets out of step, out of sequence, doesn't go properly, the shot goes bad.
Right.
Or is not as good as it could potentially be. And the thing I think is, I don't think when you have a 30-06, shot placement is as critical as it is if you're shooting 6.5 Creedmoor. Because you're throwing a bullet downrange that's 3 times the size of, the 308 is 3 times the weight, or at least twice the weight at 180 or 200 grains is what a Creedmoor is at 100 grains or 110 grains. It's going within a 200 yard. Let's just take our typical 200 yard as a shot. When you throw something twice as heavy and is almost as fast,
so what you're saying
you're talking about a wound channel
that first of all, the knockdown power, the knockdown power downrange is much greater, and the wound channel is typically much bigger because the 308 is going to create twice or even, I don't know, 3 times the wound channel that a smaller, zippier bullet is going to make, like you were saying. And so if you don't hit exactly perfectly, the resulting damage from that impact is going to compensate for potentially bad shot placement.
Yeah, I agree.
Where the smaller, zippier one is not creating as big a wound channel, and so it doesn't compensate for a bad shot.
Right.
I'm not saying a bad shot, but a non-perfectly placed shot.
Right. Not just any shot.
Right.
You're talking about just.
I mean,
like
if you're
an off
talking
smidge.
10 ring,
Right.
8 ring,
Right.
if you're not 10 ring with a 6.5, the deer's going to run. And if you're 8 ring with a 30-06, the deer's not running anywhere. He's going to run. He's going to do a dirt nap pretty quick.
Yeah. When you first said that, though, I was thinking, well, are you shooting him in the heart or are you shooting him in the guts? Like, but now that you cleared that up, though, it's like, yes, 100%. Like, if you're shooting a heavier caliber bullet, like, yeah, the devastation's obviously going to be twice as bad. The momentum, like, the knockdown power, that it's all there.
Right.
Do I think but the 6.5 Creedmoor kind of it just when they did it versus the
308.
The 308, it was quite a bit different. Like it's on YouTube. They do it like it's you gotta watch it. They do it like an actual fake body, and like they'll show you like once it gets hit, like even nicking the guy like in the shoulder, like it would just devastate his arm. I mean, just like it's kind of crazy.
The 6.5 was a better round, or the 308 was a better round?
Yeah, they're trying to prove that the 6.5 is outdoing the 308.
Gotcha.
My personal opinion is I would rather shoot a bigger bullet, smaller range, but a bigger caliber, like a bigger momentum, like more lead. And I say that because I've shot deer with different calibers of that, but I was impressed with the 350 Legend at 100 yards than I would be a 308 at 100 yards, or a 30-06 or whatever, because that bullet. I mean, we were shooting like
I would say 350 Legends like 220 grains.
Yeah, it was like a 180 grain bullet, 100 yards. And when Kirsten shot that 6-point, I mean, shot it dead in the brisket.
Right.
And it stopped right before it came out the back of the ham. And the devastation from where impact was on both sides. Now, both sides of the body, when I skinned it out, it was in the second, third rib all the way back.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that much devastation. The shoulders were both gone. I mean, she didn't even hit the shoulders, but
they got blood shocked.
Yeah, oh God. Like it was quite impressive. Like watching, shooting a bigger grain and hitting things, like I said, with like a 2x4 versus like a hammer, like good Lord. Like,
and what's the other thing that's interesting is, like you say, when you're shooting something that is creating that big of a wound channel, you have, in my opinion, then shot placement, if you want to salvage anything, shot placement becomes even more critical.
It does.
I know a lot of guys that will basically only head shoot or neck shoot deer, does in particular, or they'll neck shoot a buck because they don't want to mess up any of the meat in the shoulders,
right?
And anywhere in the body part. So like with the 350 Legend, when you're throwing something that big into a deer, I would say that if you want to maintain anything that's edible,
right?
Shot placement, you have to start taking shot placement into account. As, do I want to shoot this in the neck, or do I want to shoot this in the heart, or whatever.
A lot of people don't care though. They'll shoot for the heart, but they'll a lot of people say put it in the front shoulder, and then they're ruining both front shoulders when you can get 4 or 5 pounds of meat out of that.
Yeah.
If you're really in it for the meat, a neck shot or a headshot's the best, because you can get all the neck roast and everything else out of it. If you really want to get technical,
and they bleed really well.
Oh, they don't go nowhere if you shoot them in the head.
Right. You blow half a chunk of their head off, and
they bleed out really well. So you don't
Fast,
even,
quick,
you don't even have
and
to you don't even really have to worry about bleeding them out.
Yeah, exactly. But I honestly, it all boils down to, like you said, practice. Practice makes perfect. You know, you can never practice too much. Even with shotguns, running dogs and stuff like that. Like, you don't just go buy a shotgun off the shelf and go say you're a dog hunter and shoot deer, because you could be shooting a foot high, you could be shooting a foot left. I mean, even with a shotgun. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know, and then you don't just, yeah.
your pattern is important.
Yeah. Turkey, especially in turkey hunting. You know, I mean, you got to, but it's very important for deer hunting too. It's just, but practice is the key. You know,
Most
get
definitely.
there and practice.
Well, guys and gals, we're going to be right back after this next break. Don't go away. If you want to give us a call here, we'd love to hear from you. 321-632-1000. That's 632-1000. We'd love to hear from you guys and gals if you have any questions. And if not, we're going to be right back after this message, so don't go away. Greasy smears, fish blood, dirty footprints, and spilled food all create a mess on your boat's deck. Here's a fast and easy solution to clean them. Starbright Ultimate Extreme Clean. Just spray it on the spot, hit it with a deck brush, and rinse it off. Dirty vinyl cushions, greasy drips around your outboard, even those suspicious stains your fishing buddy always seems to leave behind, don't stand a chance when you squirt a little Ultimate Extreme Clean on them. Starbright Ultimate Extreme Clean works great to clean your grill and around the house. You can use it on your truck or lawnmower. It gets greasy stains out of clothing too. Just spray it on any greasy spot, give it a light rub, and they'll look like new again. Make sure you pick up some Starbright Ultimate Extreme Clean and lose those greasy stains today. Assassin, the most trusted name in bass fishing, is also the top soft plastic lure brand for saltwater species. Sea trout, tarpon, redfish, and snook can't resist a saltwater Assassin 4-inch sea shad. Its amazing swimming action sets the bar for swim bait designs. Others continue to try, but no one has been able to replicate the action of this incredible minnow-style lure. But Assassin has other proven designs. The native shiner-colored 5-inch shad Assassin is my go-to lure when I'm targeting big trout. Redfish love the drunk monkey or the mudbug-colored 4-inch Assassin shrimp. And snook and tarpon love their new little P&V dart bait in watermelon red flake or Houdini colors. You can rig these lures on a weedless worm hook or on the amazing Assassin Spring Lock jig head. So these are just a few of my favorite Assassin lures that help me and my customers stay happy. Check out what top professional anglers have known for years. Assassin lures simply catch more fish. Stop in your local tackle store or go to bassassassin.com to check out this incredible lure for yourself. Hey guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in right here to Catch a Memory Outdoors. This segment of the show is brought to you by Petrucci Insurance, and if you guys and gals haven't done a rate quote, it's time. The new year, got all kinds of new things that are going on with with your insurances. Car insurances, you're starting to get some rebates back in some cases, and in some cases, your house insurance has gone up double what it was last year. So you need to call around and find out, whether you're paying too much or not paying too much for your insurance. And the easiest way to do that is, instead of you doing all the legwork, just call Petrucci Insurance, 321-632-1200, 632-1200. Call them up, ask them for a rate quote, say this is what I've got, this is what my coverages should be, and they can find out if you are doing the right thing or you're not doing the right thing. And it's very, very easy. That's what they do every day. Petrucci Insurance Agency is out there to try and save you money and yet get you the best possible insurance that you can get. So give them a call, 321-632-1200, and tell them you heard about it right here on Catch a Memory Outdoors. And it's a free call, so no sense not taking advantage of a free call to save money. That's the way I look at it. So Matt, what do you think?
Smells like Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's got a neat. We're just looking at some of this new Sunwave sunscreen, which is getting ready to be released to the market here, probably in about another 3 to 4 months. We got some.
You're right, though. It is very dry. Like it absorbed fast,
super fast.
Smells good. Smells great.
The guy that developed this, he's a chemist, and he makes ladies' cosmetics.
Feel like a woman?
Well, so
ladies always need something that's good for their skin. They're always trying to put things on their skin that's going to make their skin more radiant and softer and more pliable and blah, 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 right? He basically took his background in building high-performance products for makeup products for ladies and then applied it to the sunscreen market. So it's got a bunch of stuff in it that's actually really good for your skin. And as men, we don't typically take care of our skin very well. But with this new Sunwave, this is a great way to be able to help your help your skin, not be damaged as badly by the sun. And it's got the sunscreen in it. So, and like you just put it on your hands less than a minute ago.
Yeah, it's dry.
It's gone.
It's gone. I mean, you can smell it, but it smells good. Yeah. It doesn't smell like typical sunscreen. Like I said, it kind of smells like Fruity Pebbles.
Makes you hungry.
Mike would probably lick his hands if he put this on there.
Yeah. I imagine he would.
But yeah, I mean, it's a gluten-free.
And I can tell you, if you give that to Rick Murphy, he will taste it. That guy puts all kinds of stuff in his mouth. You ever watch him when they're doing the Briggs and Techniques on the Florida Insider?
Oh yeah.
Every time I'm on there with Rick, he's always like, if you got gulp or you've got whatever, he's always trying to taste it, and I'm like, or fish bites, and I'm like, dude.
Well, I mean,
he says, I got to know.
I don't know. I don't blame him.
I got to know.
But definitely, yeah. I mean, it smells great, and like I said, it's not like a.
I haven't.
It's not oily like the other stuff.
I used to work with a guy who was sort of a mad scientist, and he approached me about trying to help him get into the fishing market a while ago with a product called Dry Grip. And for those of you that remember Dry Grip, that was absolutely the best product that I had found to help keep you safe from the sun, and yet not kill your bait. Like if you stuck your hand in the bait well out accidentally or something, you didn't turn around and 5 minutes later you open the bait well up and your bait's dead or dying. I haven't taken this and put it like on my hands and then put my hand in the bait well,
right?
Which you shouldn't really ever do. You should always use a dip net anyway.
Right. But it happens. It gets in there.
It happens. But this is, you're talking about like reef safe as a product. What they try to do with this particular product is to make it as good for you and as good for the environment as possible. But it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat product. I've been real happy with it. And, you reapply it every hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever, like you do with any other sunscreen. And it seems to work really, really well. So I've been real happy with it.
Yeah, it says it's gluten-free too. So if Rick wants to eat it,
if he wants to eat it, he won't have to worry about glutens.
That's right.
Matt, we were talking about ballistics there a little while ago, and I know you like to do a lot of hunting. You like to do a lot of dog hunting. So when you're out running dogs for the hogs and the deer, primarily deer, but I'm sure that they'll get onto a hog once in a while. What you were talking about, loads. Typically, you're shooting shotgun. What is your preferred gun size, if you will, length of barrel, that sort of thing, and load that you what kind of shot shell do you typically like to shoot when you're deer hunting?
Go for shot shell first. I shoot the Remington or the Winchester. They're black or red, whatever. 3-inch, double aught. So you get I think there's 15 pellets in it.
Okay.
Double aught pellets. I shoot a Remington 1187 semi-auto. I've shot multiple guns for them. And I've actually had a turkey gun at one point in time that would shoot better than a daggone longer barrel, whatever. I killed a lot of deer with it. But that was a 3.5-inch, but I shot threes because the threes shot better out of it. So what you're talking about, go to the range, check it out. Like you got to shoot multiple things. You got to shoot, even when you're turkey hunting and stuff like that too, like shoot multiple shells with multiple chokes and figure out which is shooting your best. Like I said, but the deer shotgun I typically run is the 1187. It's older. I've killed a lot of deer with it, and I run a Kicks choke in it, extra full. So my shot placement at 20 yards is smaller than a pie plate, but when you get out to 50, 60 yards, you're shooting about a pie plate.
Gotcha.
And maybe a little bit larger.
Maybe a little larger.
So your shot, you definitely got to be like more on than off, because it's not going to be as forgiving as a looser choke, but I can shoot further with it. That makes sense.
So when you're deer hunting, are you looking at the same range as you basically would if you're turkey hunting? So
Pretty much.
a 50-yard shot is about as far as you're really trying to poke out there.
I don't really,
unless you got a really good shot at say 60.
I mean,
like a standing deer.
I've shot them up to about 90 yards.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And got lucky, but 60, 70 is probably your limit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all depends on your gun though. I mean, some guns, you get that choke that just fits it right. You can shoot out to 100 yards. I typically don't like shooting that far though. I like to get them. I like to shoot 50 or under.
Right.
Just because I got more knockdown power. I'll put more pellets on them.
More pellets on target.
So I mean, you get your higher your kill ratio goes way up when you do it that way. And turkeys is about the same thing. I don't like to shoot them over about 50 yards. With the correct choke, with the correct ammunition. But you're gonna
Are you using the same gun to turkey hunt, or you use a different gun to turkey hunt?
No, a different gun. I'm shooting a Mossberg 835 Ultimag.
Okay.
It's at 3.5 inch, and I do shoot 3.5 inch at turkeys. And that's got the I can't remember the name of the choke. I got it right now. The jellyhead.
Number
jellyhead.
3s, number 4s. What size shot?
6s.
6s on turkeys. Okay.
Yeah. Just depends. Well, I mean, that's what shot best out of my gun was the Winchester Super X 6s, I think. Something like that. I think they're 6s.
That's what you got your best pattern.
But I got the best pattern out of that with the jellyhead, Primo's jellyhead.
Now, do you find what I did is exactly what you just said. Okay, when I patterned my turkey gun, I bought it's probably 14 different brands.
You don't have to go that big.
Well, I had nothing else to do.
Well,
right?
yeah, I'm just saying, but it does get expensive doing it that way.
So I bought 14 different brands, and I shot each of them at the at my turkey head target.
40 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I found, and I'm shooting a Mossberg 535. It's a pump.
Mm-hmm.
I found that the 3.5 inch rounds did pretty good, but I actually got a better pattern density out of that gun with a double X full choke in it. I forgot whose brand it is. But I got a better pattern with 3-inch number 5s than I got with anything else.
Okay.
And so what was interesting to me is, you think, oh, well, I'm going to throw a 3.5 inch in there and I'm going to be able to reach out another 10 yards and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't as consistent. It just wasn't as consistent a shot. The 3-inch Federal, what do they call it? Federal, one of their turkey loads. I can't remember. But anyway, I found that 3-inch, it might have been, yeah. That one was the one that my gun liked the best. And the one thing that I've learned over the years is don't tell somebody go get this because you're going to kill more. If you go buy these shells, you're going to kill more.
Right. No, you can't do that.
You can't. You just everyone is individual. Every gun is individual, or maybe every type of gun. But the other thing that I did was when I found that gun shot pretty good with a couple of them, but that one that I liked the best was that 3-inch Federal. I went back and I bought 4 more boxes of that.
Yeah.
And I shot one to 2 rounds out of each one of those boxes to see the repeatability from box to box. You see what I'm saying?
You went way up in there.
Yeah.
You took it from 8.8 and went to Z on that one.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Well, the reason I did that is because I know I'm only going to shoot 2 shells, 3 shells a season.
Yeah, but I
don't get to go turkey hunting a lot. And on the day that I do, if I shot 3 shells in one day,
you missed.
I either missed or I got 3 birds, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
But what I thought to myself was, now that you found what's working, go buy enough of it that it will last you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next year's run may come out and they may shoot differently.
Who knows why? Maybe the conditions inside the factory, the humidity was a little different, and the powder didn't stack the same, and the blah, blah, blah. You know, when you look at the little micro fine-tuning things that you could run into, you could find that one box doesn't shoot the way another box does.
Absolutely.
And the reason that I did that is because I had a 270 that I bought 130 grain soft points for, and then it shot pretty good. And then I went and bought another box, and it was all over the place. And I'm like, what's the deal here? Same brand, different lot numbers or whatever. And it wasn't shooting right. So then I was like, am I back to having to go buy a bunch of different bullets and do this all over again? Or was it just that box? And it wasn't that it was all over the place. It was that one was high, the next one was low, the next one was left, the next one was right. You know, it wasn't the repeatability. The one box that I was shooting at 100 yards, basically you're almost touching bullet holes on a bench rest, you know.
Lead sled,
bench rest. You know, take all the human error out of it that you can. The gun was doing identical things, and on the next box it wasn't. And so I bought another box, and it went back to shooting right again. And so what I did is I went right back to the store, and I bought 2 more boxes, and I came home and I shot a couple of those out, and they shot good too. And so I said, okay, now I had 60 rounds. There's 20 rounds a box. But now I'm down to, 52 rounds or whatever. But I know I've got 52 good rounds that I can shoot through this gun.
Well, the other ones you can just shoot at the zombies, so we're good.
I can exactly.
You don't want to be spot on with them,
right?
Just hit the head.
But exactly. But the main thing was I want to, if I find something that I've got it dialed in, I want to try to make sure that that's going to last for a while. And now here's the downside of that. Or the potential downside of that, because I've heard that bullets can deteriorate or change over time. So at 5 years down the road, is it still going to shoot the same? I mean, I keep it in my safe, humidity controlled safe. Theoretically, everything should be the same.
I don't think it. I don't know.
But I mean, it kind of sounds a little obsessive, but I would rather go, okay, I know that the gun is on and it was me that was off, rather than wonder, okay, was it me or the gun or both?
Right.
I would rather wonder. I'm trying to limit the number of possibilities.
Right. No, it's I mean, you do it right. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Definitely. Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more, so don't go away. We're coming right back with Catch a Memory after these messages.
Hey guys, Captain Blair Wiggins here. I'm sure you're aware of the ongoing projects out there that are aimed at restoring seagrass and water quality in the Indian River Lagoon system. Well, here's one that I'm proud to have played a role in getting started, the Indian River Lagoon Clam Restoration Project. I collaborated with Whitney Labs, CCA, the FWC, and many other partners to implement this clam restoration project right here on Florida's East Coast. I would love for every one of you to get involved with this program. Your $20 donation will put 200 clams back into our lagoons. As they grow, these 200 clams will filter over 1 million gallons of lagoon water per year, greatly impacting the health of our local waters. Your contributions are tax deductible, so please help our lagoon by donating $20, $50, $100 or more to this cause. You can make your donation online at IndianRiverClamProject.org/support. Again, that's IndianRiverClamProject.org/support. And on behalf of myself and our waters in the lagoon, we thank you.
Sunrise Marina Bait and Tackle Shop. They've been serving Brevard County anglers for over 25 years. Sunrise has all of the gear that you hardcore anglers need for a productive day on the water, and they've got frozen baits like ballyhoo, sardines, squid, and more. Plus, Sunrise Marina has a great selection of live baits, shrimp, pinfish, croakers, mud minnows, fiddler crabs, and a whole lot more. So if you're looking for tackle, rods and reels, boating accessories, fresh-made sandwiches, or your favorite beverages, Sunrise Marina has got everything for you, and you can ice it all down with some bagged or bulk ice at their convenient, trailer boat-friendly drive-thru. Sunrise Marina also stocks some really cool nautical gifts, as well as the performance clothing and casual clothing that anglers like you and me like to wear. Make sure you stop by Sunrise Marina before heading out before your next fishing adventure. They're easy to find right across the street from Grill's Restaurant at 505 Glen Cheek Drive in Port Canaveral.
Hey guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch a Memory Outdoors. I want to talk to you guys and gals about the Starbright Cleaning Solutions product. We're actually going to be talking about the Starbright Lubricating Solutions project. For those of you guys and gals that have older gear cases on your outboards and you do your own maintenance, check out the Hypoid 90 lower unit gear lube from the Pro Star series from Starbright. That particular application meets some of your non-synthetic needs, if you will. And I noticed there's a lot of guys lately showing up at the boat ramp with two-stroke motors. Have you seen that a lot lately? Like all these people that are moving in from up north, they're bringing all these freshwater motors, and their two-strokes are still running, strong. They haven't been running salt water their whole lives, and especially at the port, there's been a lot of two-stroke boats going out of the port lately. And so when you've got an older boat like that where you don't need the synthetic gears like gear lube, you can upgrade to it, obviously. But Starbright makes plenty of those. But you don't have to if you don't want to. So you can still go with that Hypoid version at 90 weight and make sure that your lower unit's in good shape. So anyway, that's the product of the day for Starbright.
They're great products.
They are. Matt, we've got spring getting ready to sprung, if you will. So winter's over. We're kind of coming out. We're trying to shake off the residuals of the winter time, and so spring is sprung, and it's time to get out there and start having some fun again on the water. Don't have to be as bundled up. Don't have to wait until noon to go fish. You can get out there early again, that kind of thing. I'm looking at snook season's open. Snook are starting to bite again. They're going to get even better as the water gets up closer to 70, but it's getting a little better. The ones that made it through are still there. But man, every time we get this north wind, it seems to shut our bite down, or it's not as good as it could be when we're in the non-tidal areas of the lagoon system.
Right.
The wind really overpowers anything else that you see going on. And so at this time of the year, I have a tendency to do a lot more in those tidally influenced areas so that my chances go up. Have you been seeing that you're staying more up in the north end of the lagoon where it's tidally influenced? Or have you run down to the middle and south where we don't really have as much tide during the day?
No, I'm staying tide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't that water. I don't fish a whole lot way south. I didn't stay up in where water moves a little bit. And I noticed like yesterday, and the one reason I do is because that water will clean faster too. So like when you're fishing a school of fish and they if they bounce up or something, they make a mud cloud. The mud cloud will sit down faster than it will just out with no tide, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was on my way back yesterday, and the crab guy was out there, and he was washing his crab pots. And dude, it was 50-yard ring of mud, But I know being at tide that it'll sit back down. You can see again. So when you sight fish a lot, you want to be able to see, of course, sunlight, clean water, always a plus. So that's why I kind of stay up there. And also the it seems like the bite seems to stay a little bit better up there, I think. Just because it is moving and fish are more, I want to say more opportunists,
right?
So they tend to bite harder or better, I think, a lot of times.
The other thing about that is that when they're in a current scenario, they're having to burn calories, so they're having to eat. Where in the backwater areas, the middle parts of our lagoon system, the Banana and Indian River Lagoon, the south part of Mosquito, they don't have to eat as much because they're not burning as much calories because they're not sitting there swimming in a current.
Right. They don't have to move as fast. They can just kind of ease up and down. Yeah. They don't have to fight nothing. Like you said, that's a good point right there, is they're not having to burn the calories.
That is for sure. So are you going to be doing anything? Have you been doing any sheephead fishing lately? Because I hear the sheephead fishing up around Ponce has been good.
Now, see, I heard that too, and I've seen pictures on it. They've done good up around the jetties, but I've got a client that lives up there, and he lives on the intercoastal side, and this time of year he crushes it off his dock, and he's like, dude, there's nothing under my dock but a few big snook. He goes, not even mess with them. He goes, because I know I'm gonna hook one, he's just gonna break me off.
Right.
So he's like, I don't even mess with him. But he's normally up there, and he normally catches really nice sheep's head. I'm talking like 6-8 pounders, like
Big fish. Really big fish.
Yeah, I mean, they're all different sizes, but he catches some really good fish. And he's telling me that, dude, I can't even fish off my dock. Like yesterday, he was so happy to get down there and catch fish because he's been there almost about a week and a half, week and a half. And he's like, I haven't even caught the first fish yet.
Really?
Yeah. So, I don't fish a lot up at the jetties either. Those guys up there, there's just too much up there. It's just,
it's not your scene.
I want to be by myself. Like, I want to fish next to like Mike Mann or any of my buddies down there. Like, I'd fish with them. I'd rather fish next to those guys than all those guys up there. That's just the way I feel about it. Or fish by myself. You know, I think there's fishing in the lagoon system. I think is offered. It's a comfort zone for me because I've been doing it my whole life. So I know that if I don't catch it here, I can probably go over there and catch mangrove snapper or sheep's head. I can do that down there. Now, the ones I have been catching down in the lagoon system, when I have had like kids and stuff like that, like they're not huge ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, but we're catching a lot of them, but they're not huge. They'll be 8-9 inches, but you'll catch 15 of them.
Yeah,
you know, off of one dock or whatever. But I tend to just stay with the blacks and the reds and the trout this time of year.
So you've been throwing live baits and you've been throwing some small artificials. At what point in the spring do you switch over and go, okay, it's time to get the Four Horsemen out and start the popping corks?
As soon as they start spreading. Like, as soon as they come off that winter pattern and they get out of the deep and they start, migrating all over the lagoon, we start spreading out instead of being in schools. That's when I start.
So when you stop seeing schools, that's when it's time to get the search bait out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You're probably tying a skitter walk on at about the same time.
If my client can throw it, absolutely. Skitter walk, searching, trying to get a pattern for the day. And then once you find that pattern, whether it be wind side, leeward side, points, edges, grass, whatever, you got to find that pattern of where the fish are hanging and then concentrate the fishing those areas. Some days you think, man, the wind's blowing out of the north. I'm going to fish the north side of this island because there's a nice point there and they're going to be there. And sometimes you wind up fishing the leeward side of it and having to throw into the wind because that's where the fish are laying.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out where they're at. But Four Horsemen, definitely. Any kind of search bait, topwater, Z-Mans, saltwater assassins, any of that. And then chunking. Go back to chunking till the pigfish show up. And then I'll go pigfish and croakers and then also keep throwing the Four Horsemen. I typically, years ago when we had a bunch of grass, I could get away with throwing those Four Horsemen all year.
Right.
And I used to be able to go into certain areas, and I know you caught me back in there a few times throwing it. I never really did say too much. But there was days back in the wintertime when I first started. I mean, we were catching 30, 40 fish a day with keepers, and I remember fishing with a couple really good guides that fish like finger mullet or shrimp or whatever on the school, like the schoolers fish, like wads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they caught like 3. And then we're catching like 30 plus, you know what I mean? So, but now the grass has gone away. I kind of shy away from that. And I just stick to deep edges, current school fishing. So I've kind of had to adapt over the years, but I just feel more comfortable in the lagoon system in that area down there because I know that 99% of the time I can produce fish.
Right.
When you get me out of it and you get me in there and then, because the inlet, I'll be honest with you, the inlet scares the crap out of me. Like, I've been out there where they shouldn't have been out there.
Right.
And you're going, I don't know if I'm going to make it home to see my family. And it kind of like deterred me. So I stay away from that. But I don't really care about the sheep's head anyway. People can have them. I'd rather catch a 20-pound black drum or 20-pound redfish.
And you got plenty of those running around right now.
Oh, man. I should have taken video yesterday. It was They were. I'm telling you, man. They were dogging yesterday. I mean,
As Blair Wiggins and I were out on Tuesday, my guy for Tuesday had to reschedule to another day, and Blair called me on Wednesday or Monday afternoon. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I was like, "Absolutely nothing." And he goes, "You want to go Busman's Holiday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." He goes, "Let's go film something." Well, he didn't call Drayden. He didn't call his son. So now we're out there, massive schools of drum, and I'm trying to fish. He's trying to fish, and we're trying to film each other at the same time.
yeah, don't work out that well.
Worst filming. Don't ever let the fisherman do the film guy's job.
No.
It was the worst. We're looking at. I'm looking at what I got, and he's looking at what he's got. Half the time you're pointed at the sky, you're pointed at the deck. I'm holding the. I'm trying to catch up. The drum starts running back at me, and I've got the recording. The phone recording in my left hand, which I'm now turning the handle on the reel with. So
Yeah.
I looked at some of it. I'm like, this is absolute trash.
Yeah.
You know?
This would be called D-roll.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
even
it
enough
was
for
not even
B-roll.
not even good enough for B-roll. It was truly D-roll. You're right. But we had an absolutely fantastic day because we found a couple of different schools, and all the fish were 30 to 50 pound class fish.
That's what we were
And-
talking about yesterday.
And just,
Solid.
as we were pulling up to, we would get video, we get good video pulling up to the school. You'd see the school lift and push and do what drum do, tail. We got really good video of that. But the second that the casting started, it all fell apart. It all fell.
Yeah, I know. And then you're like,
So finally, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to put my rod down and I'll just film Blair and watch the hookup and the fight and all that kind of stuff. But then he gets halfway through the fight, and when you're pulling on a 40-pound drum, it takes 20 minutes to land the daggum thing.
right.
So at 10 minutes, I can't stand it anymore, and I go hook a shrimp on, and I cast out, and the rest of the video sucks because he can't video me, I can't video him. It's just,
I'll tell
we
you-
needed a third guy.
I'll tell you something. I've experimented with this black drum quite a bit, and I'll tell you, if you ever run into a bind and you have fish bite,
Oh, yeah.
like them, and the pink ones especially. And then also, if you are out there and you run across a school drum, don't be afraid to put on a piece of chunk, a small piece of chunk, but whatever you got, but just a small piece, like inch by inch, maybe.
Yeah, small piece.
Put it on there, put it on the jig, and they'll eat it.
Oh, yeah.
There's been times where I was pig
Yeah, we were
fishing.
throwing shrimp, and then we started throwing jigs. And actually, the one that we found that they were biting the best was the shrimp, the fish bite shrimp in white.
Okay. Well, yeah,
As far as
it matters. I think it goes for
artificials
smell,
go,
yeah.
that was the one that they seemed to like the best on Tuesday. It's kind of interesting, but it's and they'd hit it just as fast as they would a live shrimp.
Oh yeah.
But when you got 100 fish in a school or 200 fish in a school,
yeah.
you got a lot of mouths to
competition feed.
yeah, exactly, the competition feed. You got a lot of mouths to potentially get in. So guys and gals, we're going to take our last break of the day. When we come back, we got a whole lot more. Well, we don't have a whole lot more. We got a few minutes more of Catch Your Memory. We're going to do the wrap up after this, so don't go away. StarTron enzyme fuel treatment makes all engines run stronger, smoother, and helps them get better fuel economy. The enzymes in StarTron improve the quality of all fuels so engines start easier, even if they haven't been run for several months. Don't just stabilize your fuel, tune it with StarTron. StarTron enzyme fuel treatment can also be used in 2- and 4-stroke engines, trucks, lawnmowers, generators, motorcycles, four-wheelers, basically anything that runs on gas. You can also get StarTron diesel fuel treatment for your truck, boat, or tractor, or construction equipment. If you want to fuel more power, tune your fuel with StarTron. Is your home under attack from pests or termites? Or have furry wildlife made themselves way too comfortable in your attic? At Integrity Pest Management, they specialize in getting rid of pests, termites, and wildlife safely and effectively. With years of experience and commitment to integrity, they protect your home from unwanted invaders using eco-friendly and efficient solutions. Don't wait for the damage to pile up. Call Integrity Pest Management today for a free inspection and let them restore peace and security to your home. Call 321-637-1199 or visit them at integritypestmanagement.com. Integrity Pest Management, where your home's safety and your peace of mind are their top priority. Hey guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in. This is the last segment of the show. Captain Matt Lee and myself are just sitting here comparing pictures from the last couple of days, and a lot of fun out there. A lot of fun catching and releasing those bigger black drum. You know, we don't get a chance to catch those 30, 40, 50 pounders year round. They have a tendency to be here only in the wintertime, and so on those calm days you can find them super easy because I mean they make a wake the size of a boat wake whenever the school lifts up. So it's pretty good fishing right now as long as you can keep the wind down and keep the sun out. I think that's the two prerequisites that really we really need this time of the year as we're coming out of these colder water conditions and it's kind of continuing to warm up. Is more sun, less wind. Let that sun really warm up the flat, and then obviously it turns into a good day. Like yesterday, Glenn and I were looking for some schools of black drum, and we covered like 6 miles of the river, just back and forth. 4 different times we ran, and then we'd stop and we would catch some trout and we would catch some jacks and bluefish and stuff like that, and then we'd pick up and we'd go run and look for them again. But
your water's not near as clean as ours.
No, that's Titusville water.
That's green.
It looks like puke.
Ours is
That's Titusville and Space Center water right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah, that's what that is. That's what it looks like up there.
man, ours is gin clear.
Yeah. Now down at Sebastian, gin clear. You can see fish a mile away. But up here, if they're not pushing, you can't see them until they're right on top of you. But yeah, the Titusville and the Space Center in Titusville have the worst water quality conditions of anywhere in the lagoon system. So yeah, so I'm looking at Matt's.
Do you see that black spot right there?
I see that black spot right
You know
there.
what that is?
That is a big ray. That's a manta ray.
Yeah.
Really, a
the
manta
lagoon.
inside the lagoon.
There's actually
Was there a pompano or a jacks following it?
didn't see any fish following him. He came up right, and I was like, "Holy crap, it's a manta ray!" And then I was actually on the phone with Mike, and he was like, "Oh yeah, there's one down there." That was like 4 foot wide, and then he said he was around the corner and I think he saw 2 or 3 more.
Well, you know what's interesting? The last time I fished over in the Mosquito side, I saw spinner sharks,
I believe it.
like jumping out of the water, spinning like you would see them offshore.
Well, I can tell you this much: we were down there fishing one day, and one of my clients, he swears in his life, a big bluefin tuna jumped out of the water. Like I was thinking it was probably a big, like a
Jack
big
Crevalle
Jack
or something.
Crevalle or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a big. I mean, if it wasn't a bluefin, it was super big. Like I know it's kind of crazy, but like it had to have been a super big Jack Crevalle.
Yeah.
And like a bigger than I'm used to seeing in there, like way big. And I can tell you that it did have a tuna tail. That's all I can tell you. But by the time I looked over and caught it, it was a tuna tail of some or jack tail. You know what I'm saying?
It's sickle.
So yeah, it was exactly it. But he's like, it was bluefin. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we saw something we'd never seen before. Like just on with it. But
You don't know because you didn't see it. And you can't verify because
Nope.
you didn't catch it.
Nope, can't verify.
Yep.
Sorry. But
Well, a couple years ago
That's
we had
awesome.
we had a great white ping in the Indian River by 528.
I believe it.
Now, obviously, that's an anomaly.
Well, how many times you see
that's a
manta rays in there?
Well, that's a mistake, though. I mean, there's no way a tagged great white shark is going to be in the Indian River lagoon system without somebody actually releasing it there. I think they messed up the GPS coordinates when they put
Probably.
the ping. But
But how many times you see manta rays in there?
I see eagles a lot. I see
Eagle rays, yes.
I see
not
eagles a
manta
lot.
rays.
I don't know if I've ever seen a manta ray in the lagoon system.
Well, also, a buddy of mine, he's got some really nice triple tail
I catch a lot of triple tail. Yeah.
in our side of the lagoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only ever caught one.
I actually catch a lot of triple tail.
They look
in
like
the
a
lagoon
paper
system.
plate floating on the water. He was
Oh, yeah.
white, just floating on the top of the water. Like, oh, look.
There isn't a crab trap I drive by that I don't look at that
I guess I
float.
need to start looking more because
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention to them.
And sometimes
but
they're not under the float. Sometimes they're halfway down on the
Yeah.
on the rope. If it's in 4 or 5 feet of water, sometimes they're down. But if it's calm, I will actually run the crab trap lines looking for them.
Yeah, he brought back two that day. One was like 12 pounds. One was like
Yeah.
7.5. I was like, dang. And like, I guess something I never really thought about, really.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
we're looking at some tailing video when you've got a school of 200 fish that are all like in that 30 to 50 pound class, and you're in 3 feet of water and there's tails sticking out.
Like there's a certain times in a fisherman's life, and especially ours, going through the ups and downs that we've gone through for the grass and seeing tailing fish and stuff like that. Like dude, that would be hard to even throw into because it's like
No, we
that
just
is
sat
so
there and- we
majestic.
sat there and videoed that for 3 or 4 minutes.
I mean, when we first started getting tailing fish back a few years ago, and getting on tailing fish and stuff like that, like I stopped, and people were like, "Why are we stopping?" I'm like, you need to just take this in because you don't get this all the time. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we went years without this. We went years. What I'm saying is now you're getting to see 40, 50 fish. I mean, back then it was only 40 or 50 fish, you know, if whatever, tailing. But it's just like, take video of this. Like, take pictures of this. Like, this is what it's supposed to be right here. And, you know, people just don't understand it because if they've never fished here before or whatever, don't know the struggles we've been through, ups and downs with the water column and the grass and all that stuff. But, man, that is awesome. That is just...
It's good to see it coming back.
You know, if you could just get rid of the background where everybody couldn't go in there and fish your spot, like that would be just... I mean, now I know where it is. I'll see you down there tomorrow, but...
Yeah,
No,
you come get your fenders out.
I
there.
am. I'm going to get the fenders out. But dude, look at that. That's just amazing.
Headstands, just headstands.
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
man. Like, when you think of a picture of a redfish or a black drum or whatever, and you get a picture made, like, that is the picture right there. Like, if the water was super clean like it is on our side, like, dude, it's crazy.
Oh, most definitely. So the the tailing activity, and the more we get into the spring, I think the more tailing we're going to see because the water's going to get a little higher, and so those places that they haven't been able to get to and tail as easily, they're going to be able to tail there better.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a little more water depth. I get excited about coming into the springtime because I always think when I'm throwing a topwater plug or my customer's throwing a topwater plug first thing in the morning, it's like, okay, what is going to potentially eat this thing? Obviously, you're always looking for trout. You're always looking for redfish.
Yeah.
But the farther we get into spring, I mean, the snook potential, baby tarpon, you just never know.
Even like a big jack or a big bluefish
Or
or
bluefish,
whatever.
exactly.
I mean, just to see him come and explode at the top of the water, there's certain things like that as being a fisherman and a guide, like that is what we live for. And it's amazing. Yeah, it's just, but the top water bite is always the best bite because you get to see that fish. And if you ever watch the Rapala commercial when they're working at Skater Walk and they're working at bait and then you got that redfish coming up behind him and his eyeballs are out of the water and he's going to, that was the only day I ever got hooked by a fish, by the way, was 2 days before Veterans Day back in 2019. I got stabbed in the thumb. But that was the same day that redfish came up, and he did that commercial, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is
out of the water, over the top of the bait."
And there's like, and he was just like, but he wasn't like aggressive. Like I had to like stop it and let him eat it.
Gotcha.
The second time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, brother, we need another 2 hours. We got about 10 seconds. So, how does somebody get a hold of Captain Matt Lee?
Give me a call. 386-214-3530. Call me direct or
Code Red Fishing Charter.
Fishing Charters on Facebook, Instagram, website,
all of the
all
above.
that good stuff. Give
Buddy,
me a shot. We'll get
thanks so much for coming in again
man,
today.
thanks for having
Big
me,
time,
brother.
big time. Hey guys, until next week, do what we're going to do. Catch yourselves a memory.